Hey there, good morning. I'm Charlotte Smith with the Profitable Farm Facebook group, and I hope we have someone listening out there. Click like or something so I can see you if you're there. Actually, I would like you to meet my daughter Hayden too. Hayden, pop your head in here because here, I'm going to move over and this is Hayden. She's also in the Facebook group every day. She's my assistant in many ways, and she's a Facebook group manager. She manages our farm store. She's over in the corner on the computer watching your questions too. So let us know, go ahead and ask anything. If we don't get to it here, we'll get to it later. So there went Hayden back to her corner. And today I'd like to answer questions hopefully once a week in a live format, live training like this. Once a week or every 2 weeks, we'll see where we settle in. But first of all, this group is fairly new, and it's been so exciting to see all the connections going on and just the love and support and encouragement, because this is really hard work. Just when I think maybe we've hit an easy flat road on our farm and something major happens. I won't even go down the list of what's happened recently because I know you've all got your own things. So it's really hard work. It's got to be profitable or we're not going to last very long. The reason I started 3-Cow Marketing and my marketing courses is because I see way too many farmers going out of business. So I started teaching what I've done and built over the last 25 years that has made our farm successful over the last 7 years, and put it together in courses. And this Facebook group is just one of them. And I want to jump right into the training so I don't lose people. I don't want to keep rambling on. So ask a question anytime and we will fit it into a training in the future too. Or you can ask questions specific to today. But when I asked last Sunday what you guys wanted me to talk about in this live training, the very first person who asked the question, Emily Spears, her question was great because it kind of sums up everything that I do and the whole reason we're here. Her question, Emily Spears said, I would love to learn about identifying customers. How do you get them to think of you for their needs if there are other farms in the area who are doing what you are trying to do? So this is huge for all of us, every single one of us, because if you're a small farm, then chances are there are going to be other small farms within a reasonable driving distance that could be considered competition. Maybe you consider them competition. And for us, that's farms, people here drive an hour to an hour and a half, sometimes one way to a farm. So if there's a farm an hour and a half away from me, that still could be competition. So what can you do to make them think of you when there's hundreds of farms out there? If you go click on some of these sites, Eat Wild or something, and it shows you on a map all the farms, all the little dots that pop up. There are farms everywhere. So you need your customers to think of you. And back to the competition, though. This comes down to a mindset where I like to think that there is no competition for any of us. I don't feel like any of the farms around me are competitors. I feel like we all have our own unique set of customers we market to. So I'd love, the first step for you is to shift your thinking that each of us creates our own unique set of ideal customers who buy from us. And that set of customers will feel connected to us, they'll feel connected to you, and they will come back to you time and time again. This is possible. Farmers are doing this all over the place, and the sooner you get on board with this belief and this practice, the more successful you'll be. And also, I'm reading notes here because I sat down and wrote 5 pages for this training, so if my eyes shift, that's what I'm doing. I want to make sure I cover everything in a logical order here. So this kind of building your own set of customers so that they think of you does not magically happen, obviously. You have to put effort into it. We go very deep into this in my 2 marketing courses I teach. I mean, we spend many, many hours with that. So I have, I'm hoping to keep this to less than 30 minutes today. So I'll touch on it, but no, we can go deeper elsewhere. But the most important thing is that when you identify your ideal customer, then you get them on an email list so that you can begin to build relationship with them and stay connected year-round through monthly or twice monthly or so emails. That's it. I mean, there are so many little things that go into that, but that is it. That is the answer, the big picture answer to the question. You get these people on an email list. You begin building relationship by emailing them at least once a month year-round, preferably twice a month year-round. And they will think of you for their needs first, not the farm. Because trust me, the farms around you are not doing this. And if you have a thought of, well, no one else is doing this, so why should I be doing this? That is great. Because nobody else is doing this, you're going to be the first on board, and you're going to be so far ahead of them when they finally get around to doing this years from now, because this is what works. So back to my little script here. Hayden wants me to check the comments. Okay. What email program do I suggest? Great. Emily, have you taken our free email training? So if not,
I'm going to do it right now.
Hayden's putting a link in there right now. Do the training. And I say this later in this training today too. If you've already done the training, do it again. Do it 10 times. Do it multiple times. I've been doing this, for many years now, and I still learn every time I learn something on a deeper level. So Hayden's putting the link to the one we suggest, but go to 3cowmarketing.com, free training, click on the 6-day free email training, and it'll go over there how to set it up and everything. But if you don't get your customers on an email list so you can stay connected, you'll most likely not be the one they go to or think of for their farming, whatever products they buy from you. And it's not like I'm teaching you one way of getting customers instead of, the farmer next door. I'm teaching you the only way that I know of today, and I've done a lot of research that works to get and maintain consistent business for your products and do it efficiently, sustainably, and profitably. So sometimes I have people who take the free email training and they're like, okay, that was great. Now, where do I advertise? You don't need to advertise. Advertising doesn't work. People buy based on relationships. So you will, if you're advertising now and it's bringing you some customers here and there, you've got to get them on an email list to build relationship with them in order to keep them. Yes. Oh, no, sorry, another comment. No. Is a Facebook page as effective as email marketing? No, and that's going to be a whole nother training, Emily. Facebook, you don't own your customers on Facebook. You don't have their email. You don't have a way of keeping in touch with them consistently. So, yeah, a Facebook page is a nice support, but it is not how you will build a sustainable farm. Facebook changes its algorithms almost daily, so that if you have 1,000 people that like your farm page, maybe only 4 to 8% of those people actually see your post. When you email someone, 100% of them see the email, unless it goes to spam, and if you use our email system, we recommend it won't, or it's highly unlikely to. And then you can see how many people open them. We have about a 50% open rate on our emails, so half of my email list is seeing my emails, whereas 6% of the list sees the Facebook posts I make. So no, they don't even compare, and that, like I said, that could be a whole different training. So sign up, again, take that free email course training we've got on our website. All right, so here's what often happens if you don't have people on an email list. They'll come across your goods, they'll hear about them from a friend, or they'll buy a product from you once at a farmer's market or a buying club, or however it is you sell your products. They go home, they love your product, but 3 to 4 weeks later, or months, or even a year later when it's time to buy again, they don't think of you because in the meantime, they've been introduced to several other farms, or they've run across somebody online, or they go in with a friend. So they don't intentionally not buy from you. They aren't intentionally thinking, I'm going to go to the neighbor up the street. It's just now that some other farm is top of mind instead of your farm. And the only way for you to keep your farm top of mind is through consistent emails. And what's going to be in those emails is a topic for another training too. So I won't get into that today, but that's something we delve very deeply into in our course as well and spend hours and hours on that. So let's see. Also, everyone's really busy these days. We have kids and jobs and community obligations, plus animals and farming and things going wrong. So, but our customers, they aren't necessarily motivated to go out of their way for food. So then they aren't going to buy from you. But how do you motivate them? Again, it's through relationship building. And I don't mean discounts or sales or running contests, but just through building relationship with them through your emails you send to them. So your challenge and your obligation is to get them on an email list so that you can teach them about your products, you can inform them, you can build relationship with them. And I do think it's your obligation. It's our obligation as farmers because we're producing something that is helping people. It's healing people. It's changing. Really, you're changing lives. You're changing the world with what you do. So it's your obligation to get in front of those people and make sure they know where they can get those things that you're providing. Okay, so there's a technique to doing this. You don't just send out an email every couple weeks telling them to buy your stuff because they'll see that for what it is. It's an ad to get them to buy from you so that you can make money. They're all going to unsubscribe from your list if that's all you do. So these days, people buy because of the relationship with and the trust of or the trust for the business or the individual for the most part. When they have relationship with you that you've taken time to build, they will drive out of the way to buy products from you. They'll drive right by that other farm or those several other farms to get to you. And if they run across an ad for your products and they have no relationship with you, they're not going to buy from you. They'll pass right on by. And this relationship might be a referral from a friend. It might be one of their friends who's on your email list who says, oh my gosh, you've just got to go to their farm. We hear that all the time, that people will come in our store and say, oh, my friend said I've just got to come out here and meet you. So that relationship may be one you've built, or it may be their relationship with their friend that you've taken the time to build. But either way, it's supporting you and turning you into a sustainable farm business. So let me see. I want to make sure. Okay, so what this means to you as a farmer when you can do this is huge. You will save so much time when you aren't having to constantly scramble and hustle for new customers. Instead, you're engaging, you're building trust with your current customers. You're asking them then to tell their friends, who you then also build deep relationships and trust with. And your job gets more and more focused and efficient, and your customers are spreading the word about you. And then you're not feeling like you're constantly having to shout out to everyone to buy your products. Instead, you're exchanging friendly emails, you're having deep conversations with your customers, and your products are selling almost as a byproduct. So the focus for you is on the relationship, not the selling. And then watch what happens, the sales happen naturally. So I try to email our farm list every 2 weeks. Very rarely does it say, come out and buy hamburger this week. It's always, I'm giving them something. I'm giving them a recipe. Or I'm telling them a story about, maybe we had a calf born on the farm and I share the story and some pictures with them. Or I talk about an event we had on the farm and everyone showing pictures of everyone having a fun time and sipping wine and walking around the cow pasture. That's what I'm not advertising our products. I build a relationship with my customers. And guess what? Every time I send out an email, we have an influx of people to the farm store buying whatever it is I might have written the recipe about that day or something. So sales are a byproduct of you building relationship with them. And the email is the way to do that. All right, so let me make sure I'm cutting or getting everything in here. So that's kind of the short answer to your question, Emily, of how to get customers to think of you first. You've got to keep in touch with them. They won't think of you if you have not emailed them in, 60 days. Or if you forget to email them and then you send out an email to your list 3 months later, they won't remember any relationship they had with you and they're going to unsubscribe. So the short answer is get them on an email list and be emailing them very consistently at least once a month. Excuse me. So as a matter of fact, it's really helpful to start looking at your job as not being out there selling your products, but getting everyone you know on an email list. I explain all this in our free program too, that when they sign up for something like MailerLite, they have to opt in. It's illegal to be sending emails out of, like, blind copy out of your personal email. So say you have 100 customers and you're just blind copying, you know, the BCC out of your personal email account, you're going to get shut down. And we're getting more and more emails from people saying, help, my emails are all going to spam and now my account's shut down. That's illegal. You're not supposed to do that. You need to use an email marketing software such as MailerLite, which Hayden put the link to through our website. So your job is to get your potential customers on your email list. We ask everyone that comes in our farm store, they subscribe or they click confirm to subscribe when you add them. They have to opt in or confirm. And then they can also unsubscribe at any time. That's the only legal way to be emailing your customers and marketing to your customers. They have to be able to unsubscribe at any time. Not email you to unsubscribe them from your blind copy email, but they have to be able to just click unsubscribe, and that only comes through an email marketing software program. All right, so let's see. If you haven't taken our free trainings, we talk all about how to set this up in there. Again, they're on 3Cal Marketing on the free training page. If you've taken them, I said this earlier, take them again and take them again, because you don't absorb everything the first time. I don't. I mean, every time I even go through our trainings now, I add something new that I've learned. So you're going to get more and more out of them. So go through them again so you understand why this works and how this works. And again, they're all free, and a lot of the tools that we talk about in there are free or free for the certain number of subscribers. And believe me, by the time you get 1,000 people on your list and start paying for it, it will more than pay for itself. So these tools paid for themselves within the first 30 days for me, but now they're free. Technology is evolving so quickly that all the things I had to pay for 4 and 5 years ago, you can usually find for free today, or at least free to a certain amount of people. Emily Robertson says, can you send them one email after their purchase to offer opting in? Absolutely. So when someone buys something from you, or me, what I do is I immediately send, maybe I've never heard of this person, they randomly buy, I send them an email, and I'll just give you a sample email. I just say, Dear Emily, thank you so much for stopping by our farm store, or you might say our booth at the market, or our drop location, or thank you so much for having your friend Joe pick up burger from us at our store. I welcome you to the store. Let me know if I can answer any questions for you. Oh, by the way, we have a wonderful email list where I send out recipes twice a month or whatever it is you do. And I would love you to sign up for our email list so you can keep informed of what's going on the farm. You'll know when any specials are coming up. You'll know what's in season. Plus, we'd love to welcome you to this great community. And put the link in there and say, very sincerely, Emily. So yes, absolutely. After they purchase from you, send them a personal email to get them signed up. Like I said, when people come into our store for the first time and they're checking out, we say, oh, are you on our email list? And if they say no, we say, can I add you right now? You have to confirm, but you'll get a free cookbook when you first sign up, and then you'll be kept informed of, we'll keep in touch and let you know what's going on. Very rarely does someone say no. And it's okay if they say no, because people do get a lot of emails. Some will say no. But once you get them on there, the only way to begin building relationship with them is to get them on that email list. So absolutely do whatever you can to get them on there. Now, people need to give you permission. So if you just randomly add 10 or 20 people, they'll be like, who the heck is this person adding me to their list? And they won't confirm the opt-in.
They can give you verbal.
But yeah, they can give you verbal permission to do that. So like at a farmer's market, I would have when we go to events, we have our iPads and our phones right there at the booth set up so that people can sign up and opt into our email list right there. So if you're at a farmer's market, instead of, unless you don't have a way, Wi-Fi or something, you can get them to write down their email manually, of course, and then you can add them later. But if you have your phone and you've got service, they can opt in to your website right there. That is your sole goal. You're not going to the farmer's market to sell a steak or flowers or vegetables or whatever. think of it, your mindset needs to be that you're going to the farmer's market to add 10 more people to your email list today or 20 more people. You will be shocked at how well this works. You're going to be, I mean, when we have people take our course and we walk them through how to do this and what to write in the emails, things like that, or we help them write their emails that works for them, they report making $1,000 more a week within a month of taking our course. So this works, and it works for a lot of people, and it's not cookie cutter. You're putting your own personality into it. So when they build relationship with the farmer, Emily up the street, that's a very different relationship, very different emails than Farmer Charlotte down the road this way. So we're going to have different customers because they relate to us in different ways. Let me give you just a real quick example of that. Say you are a CrossFit geek and you go to CrossFit all the time and you love it. And I don't know anything about CrossFit, but that's your thing. And you sell meat. So you're writing emails about CrossFit and how many, of this or that, whatever it is you did this week, and you're talking about that. Huh? Weight, yeah, deadlifts. And then at the end you say, oh, and by the way, after I got done with my workouts this week, I treated myself to our fresh T-bone steak from our cow we just butchered. People are going to be rushing out to her farm buying those steak. Now, I'm a yoga person. I like yoga and running and biking and horseback riding. So that's what I talk about in my emails. And interestingly enough, a lot of our customers who come out are yoga people, and they're horse people, and they do Pilates. And so they're connecting with me, and I'm building relationship with people based on my personality. So I'm going to stop there because that is a whole nother training, and that's also something we delve deep into. So we're not sending out cookie cutter emails to build relationship. You're sending emails out that really express your own personality. Let's see. So now lastly, I want to talk about the seven things you need to do or have in order to build that relationship with them so they think of you first instead of the farm up the street. And I'm going to be blunt here again. I said it earlier. This is the only thing that works consistently to build a sustainable farm, and sustainable means profitable. It's not like I'm teaching you this one way of getting customers, and then the farmer next door uses a different way to get customers. This is the way that works consistently. So don't be that person that listens to this and says, okay, but where do I advertise? So maybe you're on Craigslist, maybe you're getting a few customers here and there, but they aren't going to be long-term. This works, and you've got to do the work. You've got to apply it to make it work. But it works almost like magic. So I'm not saying it's a magic pill, but I'm just shocked and always encouraged by how many people take our course and then email saying, oh my gosh, you were right. I sold a half a beef in 10 minutes, whereas it used to take me 6 months, and on and on and on. So this stuff really works. Do all the trainings over and over again to get the most out of it. And then lastly, so I'm going to wrap it up by talking about the 7 things I do to make sure, on relationship building, the things that are really important. The first one is to have a fantastic product. I haven't talked here at all about product, but if you have a bad product, a crappy product, a skinny meat chicken, milk that tastes bad, beef that tastes gamey. If you have a bad product, it's not going to work, and you're going to go out of business so quickly because word will get around quicker. So you have to have a fantastic product. So get your product right, because this is going to build so much of a following for you that, you don't get a second chance if you'll be buying meat back if you produce gamey meat, for instance. So just make sure your products are fantastic. And I'm going to assume that, that's a topic for a different day if you have questions about that. Identify your ideal customer. Farming, Chrissy Jensen said farming is CrossFit. So true. Picking up 40 and 50 pound feed bags a ton at a time and dumping them into garbage cans. Oh my gosh. But yes, farming is for sure CrossFit. So identify your ideal customer. I touched on this earlier. And this is something we spend hours on in our course. So I don't have hours here, but you're not going to sell to everyone. So who is your ideal customer? Who do you want to sell to over and over? And when your email starts being written to an ideal customer, your farm, your profits will start to grow. Your list will start to grow. So the more narrow you get and focused on who that one person is that you're selling to, the more you will sell. It seems like the opposite would be true, that the more general you are, the more people you reach, but that's not true. The more focused you are, the more people you reach. So identify your ideal customer is number 2 on that list of 7. Having an effective website, this is number 3. You have to have a website to do email marketing this way. You've got to have a way for them to get on your list. You need a website. You have to have a domain name. All these things can be almost free or very cheap. So if you're not interested in having a website, then there's really no reason to be in this group, because this is focused on online marketing, which is how people are buying products today. So you've got to have an effective website, and that doesn't mean just having a website. So again, we've got a free training on how to set up a website, and there's some key things in there that things that have to be in a certain place, things that need to be in your header, for instance, to make it work. So go through that training and hopefully go through it many times to make sure you get that. And that's a free training on our website. Email capturing software. So again, we talk about that in our free training. MailerLite is one we recommend right now. And I say right now because technology shifts so quickly. 6 months from now, there might be something better out there, but MailerLite's free and it covers a lot of things. Okay, Emily Spears, good question, logistic question. What comes first, the product to sell or the customers who want to buy the product? This is so great because it is great to be doing all of this marketing and building your list before you even have a product. I'm assuming most of you already have your business going. But if you're thinking about starting a farm, you could spend the year or 6 months or 2 months building your email list, sending out those recipes or whatever it is to build relationship with. I say recipes because that's what I do a lot on my farm. Way before you ever have your first product to sell. And then by the time you have that product, you will be sold out. That's what happened to us. I started about a year in advance of getting our milk cow. I started marketing it. I didn't realize it was going to take a year to get everything set up. So I thought I was a couple months out. But by the time we got our milk cow, we were 100% sold out on milk the first week. And then got our second milk cow a month later and 100% sold out on that. I've had people who take my course who will email and say, tell everyone who's thinking of farming to take this course before they get their farm going. So this kind of marketing works. It's great to build up that customer base who trusts you, and they will be begging you for something to sell. They'll be like, when are you going to come up with something to sell? We love you. We trust you. We want to buy from you. So yes, start the email marketing first, but if you already have your product, then start it now. It's better to start it now than 2 months from now. You'll be that much further ahead. So number 4 is the email capturing software, the 7 things you need. Number 5 is to write consistently. So I said, you don't want to, it's more important to be consistent than to be frequent. So I don't want you to write once a week for 4 weeks and then not write your email list for 6 weeks. You'll have a ton of unsubscribes. People will think, who's this person emailing me 6 weeks later because they've forgotten. So it's more important to be consistent once a month than random, and even if you have a seasonal business, say you're a CSA in the summer and that's it, you need to be emailing at least once a month during the slow season. In that case, when it's really seasonal, I might recommend once a week during the season and once a month during the off season or something like that. It's going to be different for everyone, but consistency and at least once a month is key. Ideally, every 2 to 3 weeks is even better. The other thing on that, number 5, is to write to one person. So when you're sending out your emails in MailerLite, they have a place where they can opt in with their name. You'll notice your emails from 3cowmarketing.com say Dear John or Dear Paul or Dear Susan. They have your people's first name in there. You're writing your email to one person. You don't want to say, hey everybody, because that doesn't make them feel like you're building a relationship with them, because they're just one person reading that email. So even though they know it's a bulk email, it still feels good when they see their name there in print. So make sure that you're writing to one person. Make sure you get their first names on there. Number 6, be yourself. I alluded to that earlier. You're not sending out generic emails. If you're a deep believer in God and Christianity and you want to write about that in your emails, then do so. If you think, wow, I'm going to offend people, so I'm going to be very generic, then you're not going to be authentic of what's to you. And when you do write about the things that are authentic to you, those are the customers you will draw to you, and they will just love you and adore you. So if that's your thing, do that. If it's CrossFit, do that. If you're I don't know, I've seen so many different personalities in emails. I'm trying to think of one right now that, if you're a funny person, let that humor show through in your emails. If you're really girly, let that show through in your emails. Because that will attract and connect your customers to you and attract them. Do not try to be generic. So again, we go way deep about that in our course, but for today, that's what I could do for now. I want to make sure, 10:30, so we're at 30 minutes. I want to wrap this up. We're almost done. The 7th thing here is sell them what they want. So this is something might take you a little longer to grasp the meaning behind this. Sell them what they want. When people come to us, for our raw milk, for instance, they typically come for health reasons. So they come to us to cure their acid reflux. They don't come to us for raw milk or kefir grains. They come to us to cure their acid reflux. So that's what I'm helping them with. I'm selling them milk, but what they want is to cure their acid reflux. So you want to focus on the benefits of what it is you're selling them. Not that you're selling them raw milk from pastured cows that ate green grass all day. To be honest, my customers, so we pride ourselves on having very, deep, lush green grass almost year round because we irrigate. And we're the only farm around that does that, has our cows on irrigated grass. As a farmer, I think that's the coolest thing ever. My customers really don't care. They never ask about it. They never ask anything. All they want to know is that going to make my baby's eczema go away? Or is my acid reflux going to go away if I turn it into kefir? So don't sell them what you think they need to want. You might think they should want grass-fed milk. That's not what they want. They want their bones to get stronger so they can get off their osteoporosis medication, or they want their Crohn's disease to get better. They don't care about your farming methods usually. So it may come as a shock to you, but it's the truth. So really make sure you're focusing on what they want, not what you think they should want. I have an 8th thing in here. So I said 7, but for some reason I have 8. The very last thing is focus on what you can give. I like to say that 99% of what I have is free. I give so much value, like this training here today. Now, this is an example from, our marketing business, not the farm, but this is a free training. Most of what I give away is free. Only twice a year do I actually sell a product. The rest of it's free. Our farm is the same way. They get emails every 2 weeks with incredible information, nutritional studies, research. What else do we give them? Of course, recipes, funny stuff, inspiring stuff. Yeah, they're getting so much free stuff. And then only, of course, when they come to the farm store and buy meat, do they actually pay for it, or milk or eggs. But I'm always focused on what can I give my customers. And it may be, now we do sample Saturdays. So on Saturdays, we're giving away a lot of samples in our store. So every day I talk to Hayden in the office, like, what can we give? What can we give next? So when you focus on what you can give, it's amazing how the profits pay off the other way. Okay, so I got through what I was going to talk about. I'm going to answer another question here. Emily says, for seasonal farms, does it make sense to have something small to sell off-season, or is it best to focus and be dedicated? Well, it's best to get really good at what you're doing and get what you're already doing, get that successful. So when you're successful at the seasonal stuff, then definitely figure out what you can do in the off season, because now you have a dedicated email list of people who love you and trust you. When you do what I teach in the course, you will have hundreds of people who love and adore you. I can't begin to explain how true this is and how much this means, and people begging. People will walk in our store and just stand there and say, oh, I love your emails. What else can I buy? They do that, and that's not just with me. That's other people who embrace these kind of practices. So once you get really good at your seasonal things, then sure, look into have something in the off season. Now, we're allowed to sell up to 25% of our sales can be from things not grown on the farm, because we're zoned for a farm stand. We have a farm stand on the property. And so now I sell fermented vegetables from another company, and I sell bone broth from another company, and I sell tea and wine. And those are all things that, you know, those are sales that help, like people buy a lot more wine and tea in the winter when we aren't selling as much meat and egg. We don't have as many eggs to sell. But people just love to come out here and buy stuff. So yes, definitely, Emily, but make sure your seasonal stuff is right on target and your marketing is really good before you look into the off-season stuff. Emily said number 7 is money right there.
She's talking about your 7th tip.
My 7th tip, sell them what they want.
I think, yeah, that's what she's saying. It's a good tip.
Oh, number 7 is money right there. Thank you, Emily. Sell them what they want. Okay, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. Put them down below. We'll answer them here. Or they can be, if they're off topic, we can do them in a future training. Julie, hi Charlotte, hi Julie. Thanks so much for joining us. This is going to be on the Facebook page, so you can revisit it. You might want to go back and pull out little things like that suggested email I said or something. We will keep a library of these, right? So you can find, yeah, we'll keep a file, the files at the top. We'll keep these videos there so you don't have to scroll down through the whole page. So keep up the activity in the Facebook group. I love seeing how everyone's sharing and getting to know each other and introducing their farms. We have such a great group of people from all across the U.S. doing such a wide variety of things. Danielle Hughes, insurance, that's great. That'll be a future topic. And let me know what you're thinking of. We have a lot of insurance. We have general farm insurance. We have raw milk liability. I have meat insurance. I have insurance for our farm camps, all that. So we'll cover that in a future training. So anything you want covered, put in here. And if I know about that topic, I'll talk about it. Or maybe I'll consider bringing someone in sometime who could talk about something that's not covered in here. But the focus is on business and marketing mainly. So that's mainly what we'll talk about. But I think that's it for now. Everyone, okay, all types of insurance, Daniel. Great. Yes, I'm happy to talk to the extent that I can on that, because all I know is I spend a lot of money on insurance. So I'm not an expert on what we should need, but you know, I'll share with you, and I'll share with you where I get my insurance too, because I think he can help people nationally. So everyone, have a great weekend. Stay cool if it's hot where you are, like it is here. My air conditioner just popped on, and Julie is from Ontario, Canada. Yay, we have so many people out of the country. So take care, everyone. Thanks. I'll see you in here. Ask any questions you want, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.